Perfect Man. Frank's primary project is the creation of Rocky Horror, a muscular blonde man built to serve his personal as his personal sexual plaything. Mad scientist. He is hedonistic. He's a hedonistic genius who has mastered the secret of life itself. I'm getting Brian Johnson vibes here. I don't know if you know who that is, but yeah, that's his mission in life. Through bizarre laboratory experiment and chemical mixtures. Seducer. He famously liberates and seduces the repressed American couple, Brad Majors and Janet Weiss, who stumble into his castle after the car breakdown. Personality. Whilst charming and seductive, Frank is also portrayed as a dangerous narcissist prone to jealousy and violence, notably by murdering ex-delivery boy Eddie with a pickaxe.
But, yeah, and it's just this bizarre. Yeah, I mean, if you were, funny enough, I was away at the weekend and people were talking about the Euro lotto had rolled over and but it hadn't been won in the UK, so everyone's like, oh, right, well, I haven't won it, and there was this discussion about because the couple that I was with, they had a discussion earlier in the month about what they would do, like where would they live with the money.
Mm.
And I've never really given it much thought. I don't know what it would do. And they kind of had this plan laid out where they'd have all these houses and where they would have them. And they had like plans for like four different places just in the UK alone. And, just like little bolt holes here and there. And I was just like, I know I'd get a place in Ireland because that's where my mum's from and she likes to visit as often as possible. So that makes that easy for her. I'd probably get a nice place somewhere hot so that friends and family could go there on holiday. And as long as you can afford your plane ticket, you don't have to worry about accommodation. But I've no idea where I would live. I don't know what I would do. And I'd probably have a workshop and a car collection because I like, as you know, I like cars. But that beyond that, I don't have a plan. I, you know,
But
but
if you've got the means,
this is
you
it.
don't stop on Earth, do you?
Well, but,
Everything leads back to space
but that's the thing is, when you
and
have the
aliens.
means, yeah, when you have the means, and and I think it's very difficult for most people to understand that when you like, so like Elon Musk is building two different cities, and that's the sort of money he's got burning a hole in his pocket that doesn't affect his finances. If you imagine if you live in a small town of a few thousand people, all of the buildings, all of the infrastructure, Elon Musk is building two of them already. I think they both already exist. And that's how much money he's got, that he is still the richest or one of the richest people in the world and has actually built two communities just out from scratch. There was nothing there. I bought this land and now there's a few thousand people that live there. Schools, hospitals, roads, tunnels, everything you need to run a small town or a big town, Elon Musk just built with his own money. So the idea of having a car collection or a super yacht, which doesn't interest me, when you've got that sort of money burning a hole in your pocket, it's not even small change. You know, to Elon Musk, $100 million project, it is like pulling a dollar out of your pocket when you've just, when you've just had you. I don't know. I don't even know how to compare it. That's how vast his wealth is. That what is the equivalent of for you and me, well, spending that is like spending a pound when you've just what won £1 million. Here's a pound. That's how little it is. It is to me. There is the wealth is so gigantic, so enormous that what is noticeable expenditure?
I don't think it's just about noticeable expenditure. I think about what is it their goal is overall. So the thing that struck me about the Rocky Horror Picture Show when I watched it, without reading the synopsis or anything like that, is as I was watching it, I watched this very sexual mad scientist um bring to life this blonde kind of perfect eugenics fitting being, blonde hair and a tan, literally in the lyrics, like, strong blonde hair and tan, all that kind of stuff. And it was great, and he wanted all the people there that was at the party to be fawning over him. And then suddenly you get Meatloaf coming as on the bike, as Eddie. And he is Columbia's love interest. And Columbia immediately averts her attention to Eddie. Now, as she does, and they start singing, well, the rest of the guys are now not paying attention to Dr. Frank-N-Furter or his creation. They're paying attention to Eddie. And you can see the psychopathic stare, the way that he's trying to try and deflect attention off them so he can have attention back on himself, to the point where he murders Eddie. Literally murders him, literally at the party. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is horrific. And then after, when they all go to dinner and they're stood at the table and he gets his nice blonde hair and a tan man there trying to carve the meat, as it were, the bit of an argument explodes and he pulls away the tablecloth and there's Eddie's dead body in the glass table. I'm like, oh my God. Is it that long ago since I've seen this? This is absolutely psychotic.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, they're there prancing around by a swimming pool on a stage. He's kind of mimicked them. He's kind of got them all hung up in stockings and suspenders, on a very mimicry type of thing. And then at the end, he's stood on the moon, and it turns out that two of the guys that were there, Riff Raff and Magenta, who were part of his original crew, are actually Time Lords, aliens, and Dr. Frank-N-Furter just wants to be sent back into space to Mars and go and do, or to Transylvania to go and do his thing, and they kind of refuse to take him, which also almost tries to make you feel sad for the psycho.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's really funny, but it's really fucked up.